did go to trial in December of 2008. Had a great lawyer. You know, ASAP Rocky's lawyer, the one he just beat the case with,
Yeah.
Tacopina. That was my lawyer. Yeah.
Wow.
So I had Joe back in 2008, and it cost me a lot of money, but it was worth it because I'm here. Um, we went to trial. I was acquitted of all the top charges, and then I was found guilty of an attempted burglary in the first degree with serious physical injury. So it was a violent burglary. So they gave me 10 years. So after 3 years in Rikers, because my crime was considered violent. So when it's violent, you get a flat sentence. If it's non-violent, you could get like a 2 to 4, which is considered an indeterminate sentence. But when it's violent, it's a flat, and then you always have post-release supervision on the back. So I got sentenced to 10 years plus 5 years post-release supervision. So thank God the time in Rikers Island, it counted. You know what I mean? So I already did 3 years. So I was supposed to do 8.5 because you do 85% in a violent crime. So I would have been out 8.5 years. So when I did 3, go upstate, I got 5.5 remaining that I'm going to serve if I get my good time. So I went up there. I never, at that point in my life, I never got my, high school diploma because I was acting. I started acting early. Then I'm going out every night doing drugs. So I didn't have my head in school. But now I'm here. Now I'm, here. Thank God I could have got 25 to life. So things could have turned out worse for me. So I was in. I went upstate, and then I realized that I got a nice chunk of time here. I got 5.5 years that I got to do. I may as well do something with the time. And that's the most important thing that my advice to give people who are incarcerated. This is God's plan. He put you there for a reason. You know what I mean? It's the Department of Corrections because you needed to correct yourself. And the way that you were living previously, it wasn't working. You were either going to continue to hurt yourself or you're going to hurt someone else. So you got to really realize what the plan is. You know what I mean? That's not a bad thing. Being in jail is not a bad thing. Being in jail is God taking mercy on you and saying, hey, I believe in you. I'm going to put you here instead of, you dying. Because some people, they just they reach a point in their lives where they're no longer an asset to mankind. But sometimes God may see something in someone and say, hey, I know you haven't been making the best choices, but you know what? I know the person you are at the core, and I know you're a good person, and we need to see that person again. All right? So I'm going to send you in this place for, 5-7 years. Everybody gets the time that God thinks is going to, be enough for them to get their lives straight. And this is the way I've always looked at it. So when I'm doing the time, it wasn't really bothering me. Because I would call home, my mother would say, hey, Richie Garfier, he died. Wow, overdose. Oh, my God. A week later, oh, Lillo, I just found out your friend Jimmy died of an overdose. Oh, my God. A month later, Anna's son, Angelo, he died of an overdose. So I'm hearing all these people dying, my friends. These are people that I knew. And I used to hang out with them and we used to run together. And I'm thinking to myself, like, that could have been me. But, like, I'm in a place where God took me away from that. So jail's not a bad thing. And I follow this rabbi on Instagram, and he was talking about there's no such thing as chaos. Your life is never in chaos. It's maybe a certain place to get you where, everything is planned out. It's all happening. I mean, I know that's cliche, but
No,
just
I believe in that. I think everything, like my parents always tell me, you're gonna miss out on your fate. I'm like, you can't miss your fate. God already pre-planned everything. So,
pre-planned, but I think,
but you could still change it, like the butterfly
right,
effect. Like if I do something that I wasn't supposed to do, it's
right.
gonna change everything.
Right. There's different options. This is ideally where we want you to end up. If you make these choices, I know you're going to make a couple of bad ones on the way, but we're going to always get you back on track as long as you know and recognize the signs of why I put certain things, certain places. And that's for you to navigate the right way based on the experience that you have in the life you've lived, in the free will in which I gave you. And with that free will, there's consequences. You do what you want. But then, different choices lead to different outcomes. So you're right. If you mess up the plan, you're going to end up in different places. But, you got to make the most of the time. Time is something you never get back. You could have just lost, $20 million in an investment. 2 days later, you make a good investment. You can make that money back and even more, right? Say if your shirt got ruined out some party, somebody spilled some wine on your white shirt. What happens? You go buy another one, right? You got the shirt. But when you lose that time, you never get it back. And if you're just sitting in jail or prison for that many years and nothing to show for it, that's on you. You were supposed to do something there where you probably wouldn't have done with the distractions of the outside life. When you're in there, there's nothing really to distract you. You're doing time. You know what I mean? So it's, like within those parameters, in those confines, there's still things that you can do to better your life. You know what I mean? That's why I
Yeah.
took up praying. It's like the trinity of strength, mentally, spiritually, physically. I was working out every day. I went to school. I paid for it out of my own pocket. I got a 2-year degree, an associate's degree in business. I got off drugs. Like I really did a lot with that time because I
Yeah.
thought to myself, what the hell how am I going to feel about myself when I get home? And I did that all that time and I did nothing with it. But now that I'm home, like having an education is very important. My mom always told me that, and she always stressed that. And you should be like your cousin, and you should be like, and like when you're out there, wilding out and stuff like that, you don't listen to that kind of stuff, and you shrug it off. Oh, I don't need an education. Look at this guy. He did this without an education. Yeah, he may have done that, and that's great. And more power to people that are able to do that. But not everyone is. And having an education can never ever hurt you after your health, because if you have that, you can know everything, but it's not gonna you're gonna die because you don't have your health. So you take care of your health first, but then your education is like the second best investment in life, you know.
Yeah.
And one of the things that, because it's not like if you have something weighing heavy on your mind and something you're stressed out about, when you're in the real world, you could go for a ride, you could go get ice cream, you could do a lot of things, right, to take your mind off that. But when you're in there, you really can't. There's really not much. You really got to just sit there and stew and just think about it and just let it really, really penetrate you and just, but now it's going to turn you into something different. You're going to be forced to turn into something different. But it's only during times like this do we actually see what we're really made of.